So the accused New York subway shooter, Frank James, is back in federal court this afternoon. He is accused of opening fire on a crowded subway car last month, shooting 10 people and injuring 20 during a morning commute that turned into chaos. Joining us now with the latest developments, ABC News senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky. So, Aaron, Frank James is being arraigned on one count of discharging a firearm during a violent crime and also carrying out a terror attack against a mass transit system. So these are expanded charges that he's now facing. How did it reach the level of terrorism?
I think, Kira, it was evident to anybody who was there at the scene that this was an act of terrorism. Police said it was entirely premeditated, and they believe that Frank James, even if it wasn't necessarily the most complex attack, that he did have a degree of planning that went into it. Because remember, they said he set off these smoke grenades and then he opened fire. Thankfully, most of the wounded were hit in the knee, because when the smoke was rising, Frank James, police said, had to crouch down to get out from under it so he could see. And then from that crouched position is where he opened fire. So thankfully, the 10 people that were shot were wounded, and they've since been let out of the hospital. It has been about a month since the incident. Today, Frank James cut something of a lumbering figure as he was escorted into the courtroom here by 2 U.S. Marshals on either side. He was wearing this sort of drab, gray, beige smock and pants. And then he plunked himself down into the chair and pleaded not guilty to those 2 charges that you outlined: carrying out a terror attack and an act of violence on a mass transit system, and then discharging a weapon, in this case, a 9mm Glock, in furtherance of that act.
So have we learned any more about James and what his motive might have been?
You know, we really haven't, Kira, and prosecutors didn't reveal anything about what they might have come to know in the last month or so. And James himself didn't say much other than to say he was feeling pretty good when he was asked by the judge how he was doing. So police and prosecutors are still trying to figure out why he would do this, why he would disrupt the morning commute in New York, allegedly, in a way that police said hadn't been seen here since the 9/11 attacks.
All right, and has there been any fallout for New York officials, Mayor Eric Adams? Do we know if we have any assurances that the surveillance cameras that were not working the day of the shooting are now up and operational?
They are now up and operational, and the authorities did a little bit of forensic work to figure out it was a faulty fan that wasn't working, causing those cameras not to transmit in real time as they're meant to do when the subway attack unfolded. So there were cameras in 3 different stations that were not working. But eventually, Kira, the police said it didn't really matter because Frank James was spotted on so many other cameras throughout the city. That's how they were able to get his picture out to all of New Yorkers, and how finally, when he himself called 911 from the East Village to sort of turn himself in, a bunch of heads-up bystanders had recognized him and were able to point police in the right direction.
Yeah, it really is incredible how quickly New Yorkers respond, and actually were the ones that found him hanging out, sitting there on that bench. Aaron Katersky, thank you so much for your reporting.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.